Welcome back to Mining Now. I'm your host, Jared Downey. We have had lots of episodes coming to you from PDAC 2024, and this is another episode from PDAC and another repeat guest. This is exciting. It's been, I think, over a year since they were on the show the first time. They've got some new products to talk about, new development. We're going to get a little bit of an update on the industry. One of the guests is a repeat guest. One of the guests is new from the company, or like new to the show from the company. So we've got Expert Geophysics on, and we've got Andrew Carpenter. He is the regional manager, global safety manager. He was on the show before. And we've got Robert Wilson. He is the global business development officer at Expert Geophysics. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, and thank you for having the show.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. PDAC is an interesting show to do because you really are all over the place with the topics you're covering. You're in the air, and then you're under the ground, and then you're a sensor, and then we did a safety episode this morning. We're covering lots of ground. Andrew, you've done the show before, so maybe I'll kick it off to you first. For anybody who hasn't heard of Expert Geophysics or didn't see the episode from before, of course, it's a new audience for every episode sometimes. So tell us a little bit about the company first.
We're a Airborne EM company. We concentrate a lot on research and development. So there are more people in our R&D department than there are geophysicists and management in the company. And our primary goal is to develop new technology for our clients to solve some of their exploration problems and some of the old problems that the industry has had in general. We have our primary technology, which is our AFMAG technology, so a passive field technology, which is what we're best known for. And the mobile MT system is our flagship system. We have some time domain technology that we've brought out recently, which is an active system. So our primary goal is to bring new technology to solve old problems for our clients.
What is the old problem in the industry? I saw a video that you put out. Just sort of the landscape. I wish I could remember what it said. It's sort of the near surface has already been discovered and mined in Australia, but now we got to go deeper. Can you just set up a little bit of the landscape that you're operating within?
So that's pretty much the case. So globally, the easy to find resources have pretty much nearly all been discovered, and the industry as a whole needs to move towards mapping deeper and making discoveries deeper below the surface. Existing technologies really struggle with that, but our flagship mobile MT can map much deeper than other technologies. It's also sensitive to a broader range of resistivities. It can map things that a lot of other technologies just can't see.
Why do the other? I'm not asking obviously for names and that, but this is a technical show a lot of the times. So why do those other technologies sometimes struggle?
So they're limited in the range of resistivities that they can measure across. Our AFMAG technology can measure across a much broader range of resistivities, and a good example is a superconducting type target. A lot of other technologies can't see those sort of targets or struggle to see them, whereas because we're measuring with our AFMAG technology across a broad range of resistivities, we can see those sort of things a lot easier. Yeah.
Robert, I'd love for you to jump in on this and just sort of expand on the technology. What makes it stand out? What gives you that edge in the industry, and just sort of walk us through some of those details.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as Andrew has mentioned, we have a series of technologies. So, our flagship technology is called Mobile MT, and the Mobile MT system represents a complete game changer in mineral exploration. It's the only system that's been proven to map critical minerals with very great detail at very great depths. And, and we've been speaking about this. People may ask why. Why do we always want to see deeper? And as feeding into that discussion with most if not all, mineral deposits close to surface or at surface has been discovered. And there's a growing demand to explore deeper. And at Expert Geophysics, obviously, we align with this broader mineral exploration trend. And our mobile EMT system is the leading airborne EM system in this arena. And we reflect the industry, the collective commitment in advancing we're proud of our research and development wing, and this is crucial in that direction in exploring deeper.
Let's talk about our Heavy Industry World Tour brought to you by Savannah Equipment, supplying mining equipment worldwide. And Corporate Traveler Canada, helping companies travel the globe simpler, faster, easier. We are heading to events across North America and Australia and filming episodes on location. Email us at info@crownsman.com to be part of Crownsman's Heavy Industry World Tour. LiveMine is the data management solution for the digital mine, making mining operations paperless through an intuitive and easy-to-use app developed by mining professionals with decades of real-world experience. Trusted by operators in 7 countries across the globe. Get better and more accurate data faster than ever and throw away your paper plods, PDF printouts, and shift sheets. Visit livemine.com.au to learn more. The mining industry is navigating a significant transformation driven by electrification, critical mineral dependency, and net zero targets. But balancing daily operations and capital projects can be overwhelming. Burns & McDonnell is your trusted EPC partner, supporting projects from concept to completion. With more than 125 years of experience, they stand ready to help the mining industry meet the demands of the energy transition. Visit burnsmcd.com to learn more.
Can we just go, and either one of you, could you just explain just sort of the technology and the setup, like even just visually? When I see it, I look at it and I go, okay, I see something. You've got the just from a completely, if I'd never seen it before, looks like a big orange floater getting pulled behind a helicopter, and then it's got like a webbing underneath it.
Yeah.
Yes. So our flagship system, the mobile MT, we in the workshop we call it the goldfish. It's a big orange ball with a tail.
That's what I should have said. It looks exactly.
Yes,
That's bang on.
So that system consists of 2 parts. There's the part that flies in the air, which is a total field magnetic sensor. And then on the ground, we have our electric base station, which is measuring the electric field. So the airborne system is flying along, it's collecting the magnetic field. The base station on the ground is collecting the electric field. Then we take those 2 data sets and we merge them together. And from that data, we give our clients some products that they can use for looking at mitigating drilling problems. But basically, it's a targeting tool, and it's all about making discoveries.
What when we're talking about more depth, what are we talking about in?
Well, it depends on the geological environment that we're surveying in. Like some parts of the world, like Australia, parts of Africa and America, have some very conductive overburden, which is hard to penetrate. And in those sort of environments, we might only be mapping, say, between 600, 700, 800 meters to a kilometer. In highly resistive environments, we can potentially be mapping a kilometre and deeper, and there are parts of the world where we've been mapping over 2 kilometres deep.
What kind of conversations are you having? You're on the business development side. What is sort of your message to people as you're, it's a very busy show. What are people asking you, and what are you sort of trying to get across when you're at an event like this?
We're very fortunate at Expert Geophysics because we have such a unique set of toys to play with, right? And obviously they're not toys, but
you're doing a throwback because I told you I sold someone's product a toy. I know it. I know what you're doing.
Toys,
yeah.
Right? I'm a geophysicist. We map subsurface physical properties, but we're very fortunate here. We have many happy clients, and they actually stand in queue to speak to us and discuss more projects. But it's an easy sale. Our technologies are very unique. We map things which other technologies can't. So there's equivalent technologies out there, but they're completely outdated. Our technologies are new. It's not that we are defying the laws of physics here. We're pushing the bounds of physics. What else can we retain out of the data? What else can we image out of the data? And that all has to relate to geology and mineral deposits, right? So, as Andrea has mentioned, we map the whole scale of the geological spectrum in resistivity. In what we measure is subsurface conductivities and resistivities, and that relates to mineral deposits. So we're in a fortunate position that we have many happy clients coming over to our booth, and it makes my life easier.
Yeah.
You know, you have clients returning, and they just want to fly more.
MineTech helps mine sites like yours improve their safety, profitability, and compliance with world-class sound attenuation, water management, underground ventilation, and electrical solutions, enabling their customers to make and save millions of dollars through increased production, limited downtime, automation, and reduced energy consumption. Relied upon by more than 3,200 sites across 25 countries, their global team is standing by to offer end-to-end support and custom solutions for noisy mining machinery, toxic mine water of all qualities, metalliferous underground ventilation, and evolving electrical needs. Learn what MineTech could do for your site. Visit mindtech.com/innovation. L&H Industrial can custom engineer and build from the ground up any heavy equipment assembly or machine that you need for your operation. Their worldwide 24/7 field services network is on the job whenever you need heavy equipment troubleshooting, repairs, rebuilds, relocations, or replacements. And thanks to their specialized design and engineering and state-of-the-art manufacturing and repair services, they are a go-to international supplier for improved components and custom assemblies for heavy industrial machinery. Visit lnh.net to learn more.
I'm quite curious about your R&D because Andrew, you discussed it last time on the show. Is that I would assume that that's still part of the program, is to really push that R&D right now.
It's an enormous part of what we're doing. And mid last year, we announced our new target EM system, which is a hybrid system. It's a combination of an active time domain EM system with very good signal to noise, a nice powerful transmitter, and a compact frame. You mentioned before the loop with a net on it. That's that system, if you're looking at a picture of it. And we also, on top of that, are able to acquire AFMAG, so passive data, similar to our flagship mobile MT system, and we can acquire VLF as well, all at the same time, and magnetics. So what we're offering is we're value adding to our clients. We're giving them fantastic time domain EM, AFMAG, VLF, and magnetics all together, and that's a very powerful suite of data for our clients to be using for their exploration.
What does that mean, Robert, for your clients now? What is their response? How does that sort of rolled out to them?
You know what? They show up at the booth, they look at the picture, they see the web, right? This web technology, which is our target EM system. It looks like other systems on the market, but it's not. We offer so much more. I mentioned pushing the bounds of physics. So this is what we call time domain electromagnetics. It looks like a time domain electromagnetic system, but it's not. We measure other things. We measure VLF, which is very low frequency spectrum of electromagnetics. But we also, as Andreas mentioned, include AFMAG. With the inclusion of this multi-parameter electromagnetic data sets, there's other things we can start imaging in subsurface and also surface geology, right? That has very, very important impacts on data quality. What that means it hides any potential deposit at depth. But with the inclusion with this multi-parameter inclusion of AFMAG and VLF, we can overcome those obstacles. So it's not just a standard time domain EM system. We're not a status quo airborne geophysical survey company. We're here to detect the new mineral deposits needed for the future.
Okay. My job as the interviewer is to act like the person who doesn't know anything, and you'd be surprised maybe at how often I'm not acting. So I want to get a clarification. The AFMAG and the VLF and the EM surveys, You've mentioned those a few times. Can you actually just talk about what all three of those are for the audience that doesn't know? Not for me, because I, of course, know every single one of them.
Okay. Keeping it very simple for the target EM, it's an active time domain system. So we transmit a pulse from the big loop with a net on it, and we have a transmitter, and we transmit a pulse. That signal goes through the Earth, down into the Earth, propagates in the Earth, and then we read the return signal from that. So that's active time domain. So it's all about we transmit a pulse. Do you want to do AFMAG?
Absolutely. So as Andrew has mentioned, we have an active system, right? We control the source. It's an active time domain EM system with a transmitter loop. Then we have the passive side of it, where you have sensitive receivers. You only tow a receiver below the helicopter, and that's what mobile MT is. That's AFMAG, but also VLF. So it's a complete passive system. We don't induce a current. And the question is, well, where does the source of electromagnetic energy comes from? And you know what? In the AFMAG domain, it comes from lightning activity, thunderstorm activity globally. So as thunderstorm activity and lightning hits the Earth, it generates an electromagnetic field, an electrical field. And that propagates through the subsurface. It propagates through the subsurface as a plane wave. It energizes material and minerals in a certain degree. But then you also have ionosphere content, where you have energizing of the ionosphere. And that's AFMAG. If you think about VLF, so AFMAG, thunderstorms activity, that generates the energy. If you think about VLF it actually uses worldwide submarine transmitters. And that also generates a certain degree of electromagnetic energizing of the subsurface. So typically, if we think about it, time domain EM is an active system. It's like a big metal detector, which you walk around the beach with, finding coins and hidden treasures. So that's the active side. And then you have the passive side, where you have sensitive receivers. And with the passive side, we need a external transmitter. And the external transmitter in AFMAG is worldwide thunderstorm activity. With VLF, it's submarine transmitting towers.
So I just want to clarify something. And again, sorry for the kind of rudimentary understanding of it, but are you taking all three technologies and then putting them against each other to then go, this is the most accurate data? Is that essentially what's happening?
That's one potential use of it.
And you were like one sentence away from going, well, that's a dumb version of what I was saying. No. But no, I just want to have an understanding more of are these working together, or are they separate verticals of data?
So in the past, all of those things have been acquired separately. So they've been treated separately. At the end of the day, a consultant or geophysicist will get all these data sets and put them together. But because they're not all acquired at the same time, it's never quite sure what's going on when trying to interpret what's happening. For the first time, we've been able to acquire all of those things together, which makes it extremely powerful for diagnosing problems like SPM and IP, but also for looking at things that the time domain's not good at. So I mentioned before that time domain only has a limited amount of resistivities that it can look across, but because we're acquiring high frequency AFMAG, we can see across a broader range, so we can see those things that are time domain's not good at. So it's a combination, and I don't even think we've really touched the surface on what the data will bring to people in the future. There are third parties working with our data sets, making new inversions and new products for people. And I think over the next few years, we'll see a lot of new products derived from this comprehensive data set that we're acquiring with the target EM.
Robert, anything to add on that?
Oh no, definitely. You know, we've been seeing these as two different technologies. Well, we have very clever engineers and very clever geophysicists. So what we've done now, you know, we had the target EM system and active system. time domain EM system, bomb finders. It can see conductors. And then we had the FMAG system that we can map this broad scale of resistivities, mapping at great depths. Well, lo and behold, we've now combined them into a hybrid target EM system. So even though those separate technologies, we've combined them in one system, which we call target EM. And, it's evolving all the time, and we're pushing the bounds of what's possible. And so, as Andreas mentioned, let me give you one very simple example. We fly a time domain EM survey, but you're looking for nickel sulfides. You're looking for a nickel sulfide deposit at depth. Time domain EM is going to see that. But then there's other minerals associated with it, like pentlandite, which are superconductors. You can't see that with time domain EM, but you can see that with the FMAG. And that's why you need this multi-parameter electromagnetic technology that can map everything. And investors want to know everything, and geologists wants to see everything, and we want to deliver everything.
That was a great answer, I gotta say. um, so circling back to the R&D question, are there any new products that you're planning to roll out, working on? Any big announcements to make for PDAC?
Just prior to PDAC at KEGS, our Vice President and Chief Geophysicist, Alexander, gave a talk, and in that talk he announced our new drone system. So it's called the Mobile MTD, the drone, and it's basically a mobile MT system on a drone.
Oh yeah.
What's interesting about this one is that most systems that go onto a drone are a compromise because the drones have a limitation in endurance and a limitation in the amount of weight they can carry, and systems that go on them are inevitably shrunk down and don't always perform as good as their older siblings. In this case, the mobile MT drone system actually outperforms our flagship mobile MT system. So because we can fly slower and during periods when the signal is at its absolute strongest, we can go lower in frequency, which means that this system can see even deeper than the mobile MT system. It can it's also more efficient, so environmentally it's more friendly. It's safer because we're not putting people on aircraft, and logistically it's a lot easier to get a drone in a case on a plane and go somewhere to do a survey than to mobilise an aircraft. So we're really excited about the drone system, and I think it's going to be a real game changer for us and a big game changer for our clients.
Your competition must just love watching your team work. Robert, what does that mean for the market? How do you now approach when you take how old is the company? How long have you been around?
We've been around since 2018.
Exactly.
2018. So it's not a 100-year-old company. Still in the newer side.
But yes, that's the company, right? So, but our lead engineer, he has 40 years of developing equipment, airborne equipment, ground equipment, and so forth. So it's a new company.
Yeah.
We don't call ourselves Expert Geophysics for nothing. Right?
Yeah.
We are the expert, and we've joined forces, and we have the best engineers, we have the best geophysicists. I'm not going to get on a marketing campaign, but to address your question, right?
Yeah.
Clients love drones, all right? And this is, no pun intended, this is not a toy, right? So as Andrew has mentioned, the previous drone geophysical surveys had compromises. It was not as good as ground geophysics, neither was it as good as airborne geophysics. Now we have, well, in my mind, and I've been a geophysicist for the last 20 years, now we have the first, well, I call it the first real drone-based airborne electromagnetic survey technology, or airborne geophysical survey technology. But it's important that, as Andrew has mentioned, if we can reduce the noise, fly slower, wind shear, right? So this is it's a passive system. So anything that produces low frequency noise, like wind shear and things like that affects the data quality. So with the drone system, we can fly lower. We can fly slower. And flying slower, we can reduce
Mm,
our lows frequency. If that means we can penetrate deeper. Well, why is that important? Well, we get conductive areas, right? So conductive areas always poses a problem for any airborne
mm,
electromagnetic survey technology. So, and you get these areas in South America where we fly for lithium salar salt flats, superconductive, right? So a normal time domain EM survey can't penetrate that. There's no penetration. All the transmitted electromagnetic energy gets stuck in that surface conductor. So you get zero penetration depth. But with mobile MT drone, we can now see beneath
mm.
these salt flats and see lithium brines at depth. That's important. But there's other areas as well, other regions in the world that has similar conductive cover. Australia is one. Andrew's Australian, and he can tell you all about that. So you have conductive cover in Australia. You have conductive cover in Botswana. You have the Kalahari Copper Belt. All those sediments are superconductive. What's lying beneath them? Who knows? Well, we're going to find that.
Right.
And with this system, it makes it possible for us to see deeper. And there's a pushing drive to see deeper, right? That as we mentioned, all the easy stuff have been found. So our push is to see deeper, but also see in more detail. So with flying slower, we get better data quality as well.
I think too, it's also it's not just about mineral exploration. There's applications for oil and gas.
I was gonna, other industries, yeah.
Yeah, other industries like I know in Australia we've had a lot of interest in the drone system for oil and gas. It could potentially solve a lot of issues there. So it's enabling us to move into other markets that we haven't traditionally been ours. So, yeah.
I was curious, just to sort of circle back, just to sort of clarify the question is just pushing into these markets. Is there, I mean, the mining industry is this, the giant industry that's also small and it's transient. People move from, role to role and company to company. How do you get, is it a lot of word of mouth? How, I mean, obviously you're doing our show and, hoping platforms like this help promote it, but how are you seeing a lot of people sort of interact and get in touch with you to say, oh, this is because it's, if you're replacing something the way someone does something, you really need to educate them for them to actually even want to interact with a new product.
It's a combination of things. So there's traditional marketing. So Robert does a lot of that. I do a lot of that. But I think what's most important for us is the word of mouth and happy clients. It's all about happy clients. And we have a policy in the company, excuse my language, is just no crap data. So every job that we do, we go out, we do the absolute best we can for our client. We give them a good product. And you only have to look on LinkedIn or the ASX or any other stock exchange and look at all the announcements. And you can see that we've got a lot of happy clients. And I think that helps generate a lot of our work, is our reputation. So, yeah.
Robert, anything to add?
No, definitely. Word of mouth. We have so many happy clients, daily on LinkedIn, social media, ASX announcements. They make our jobs easy. They show drill results of our data and our anomalies and the target areas we identify. It's just phenomenal. But, it's also, we have to school our clients as well. So it's an educational exercise. And when we sit down with clients and we have technical presentations with geophysicists and geologists, it's an eye opener for them because we're seeing things which other technologies can't.
Just to clarify, are you just to wrap up the interview? Is this a service that you go to site?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're sending out a team to all these operations, right?
Yeah, so we have a team that goes out and conducts the surveys using our equipment. Yeah.
Okay, and then global reach markets. Is it like for someone watching the show? Is it wherever it is you will go?
We're everywhere.
We're
exactly literally everywhere.
We're everywhere. So we're flying surveys in North America. We obviously way up north in the Arctic. We have to wait for the season to turn, but we're flying in South America. We're currently flying in North Africa,
Australia, Papua New Guinea.
and we're going to Eastern Europe very soon. Serbia, Serbia is a fantastic jurisdiction for porphyry copper exploration, and there's a major push there. And we're flying everywhere, and there's new markets. We have old clientele from previous employers that's approaching us and
Right.
the benefits of our survey technologies. And yeah, no, it's Saudi is a fantastic example where people are diversifying from oil and gas, and that's a major play in the market now. And yeah, so a total global reach.
It's very exciting, and I'm glad. I just love having companies on a second time. We're always very like asking people to come back on the show, come back, and I think once you do it, you realize, because you just get a chance to sort of just dig in. Those first shows is just kind of like, here's an introduction. You're always surprised at how fast it goes by. So I just appreciate you taking the time at PDAC, because I know it's busy. I know you're a busy booth. So I just appreciate actually letting me ask my questions while there's a lineup waiting. So thank you very much, and I hope the second episode gets great results and we do it again. It's great to have you both on.
Well, thank you very much
Fantastic.
for having us.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Of course, we'll have links to Expert Geophysics. They've got a YouTube channel. They've got a LinkedIn. You can connect directly with Andrew and Robert on LinkedIn. They mentioned LinkedIn, amazing platform for networking. If you're not using it, you really should if you're in business. Unbelievable. And this is not a paid advertisement. It's just a great platform. Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you for suggesting guests. Thank you for helping connect us with the mining industry so that we can then educate the audience about what's happening in it. We will see you on the next episode of Mining Now.